What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for the third video today. It's early, but this is one deck that I know a lot of people will love. Oh, it's going to help you out in so many different ways, and I'd argue this is one of those decks you'll need at least one person running while inside a nightmare, because it is going to make that life a whole lot easier. We're talking about the Ogre Breaker Deleter. I cannot stress this enough. It is unbelievable how much damage you can put into some of these explosives, how quick you can drop some of these ogres and break. I mean, within 1 to 2 seconds, I'm talking a couple of throws, they're gone. No more worries, no more fear about DPS on that thing. You're talking about boom, that thing is gone. Now, if you just want to copy and paste this deck, I'll have a list down in the description with within the order and names, all that, in case you just want to copy and paste it, throw it in, have at it. We'll go through, talk about the cards and how they're going to work in synergy, and how this is just going to be unbelievably destructive when it comes to a machine Ogre Breaker Deleter. Now, straight off the bat, double grenade pouch. Everything to utilize in this build is about the grenades. We're talking about the hand grenades. This is the #1 thing you're going to buy. No pipe bombs, no Molotovs. You may find some from time to time, and some of these cards will benefit you on that part. But a lot of times, grenades are going to be the thing that you want to hold on to for those Ogre and Breaker moments. Now, straight off the bat, improvised explosives. This is going to pretty much amplify. Hold on, what am I doing? This is going to amplify the damage for all accessory damage. Don't worry about the swap speed. It's not going to affect you that much. But next card, Offensive Scavenger. Why this pairs well together is in those early on missions, you know, you're not obviously going to hit an Ogre straight away, or Breaker could be one of those things that's just not immediately straight after. So you may have a few grenades, maybe you popped 1 or 2, or maybe you just didn't have enough copper at the beginning to get some, so you'll come across some random grenades or Molotovs, things like that. Essentially, this 75% is going to aid you in that way, where you could, even if you find a Molotov or something else that's not a grenade, you could still deal out some heavier damage with these and help the team out. Now, straight after that, we're going for Bomb Squad. 100% explosive damage and 35% explosive resistance. One thing to note about this card is this also affects the propane tanks, propane, and propane accessories. Now, you'll throw one of those in and it actually amplifies the damage of propane tanks, so it could be a good idea to sometimes pop or carry some of those for the team, throw it into maybe a large crowd, or, you know, possibly some large group of breakers, crushers coming towards you. Just throw that in and you'll be able to have a larger blast radius with even more effective damage. Now, large caliber rounds. Obviously, we're going to be using an AR type of build with this. Now, you could use any weapon based on what your team's using. You don't really want to take away from their ammunition. You're essentially going to be like a complemental DPS, not the main DPS, but you'll have something to work with and survive with this build. Grenade pouch, just add more offensive inventory slots for you so you can have the maximum amount of grenades. Demolition Expert, more accessory damage. And I forgot to say this at the beginning. Essentially, like I said, you're going to be using the grenades. It's for emergency use only. You do not use these grenades on just any special infected. This is an emergency use only. If you see an Ogre, you see a Breaker, that's the time to use it. Any other time, you should not be using it unless it's one of those emergency moments where you gotta knock out some special infected with one grenade. Don't start slinging them, because you're gonna have enough damage with these to wipe out a whole group of them with just one. So don't just go spamming it in case you're in that panic mode. You're really gonna hurt your team if you waste all of them right there, and then there's an Ogre or a Breaker or even a Hog. It will, 2 grenades, all it takes to take down 1 Hog. Maybe you've had some issues with those in the past when the fog comes in, or if that's the boss swallowed up one of your teammates. You just can't, you don't have any, I'm missing, man, and it is early, boys. But maybe you don't have the stun gun to stop that thing from swallowing you up, or, you know, it's just one of those moments. But this is the Hog, Breaker, and Ogre Destroyer. But let's get back to the build. Now, body armor. Obviously, you want some trauma resistance. You're not exactly going to be the biggest DPS. In some moments, you will be in the face of those explosions, so you don't want to take too much flack off of that either. So then we also add the 10% damage resistance, more health, just for that better survivability within the game. Reckless strategy just to add to 30% weak spot damage. That will also help you when facing the ogres and the breakers. Kind of aim the grenade possibly near that weak spot, and then you'll get that amplified damage from that as well. Shredder, again, one of those cards that you could trade it out if, say, your team was using ARs and SMGs and you didn't have to or didn't want to use those, and you wanted to use a sniper rifle or possibly a shotgun. This is one of those cards you'd take out if you weren't using an AR, and you could replace it with something like the sniper damage or more bullet penetration, something along that lines. But then also silver bullets, we want that bullet penetration for those moments when you're trying to clear the horde. You're not exactly putting too much fire on the special infected, but we also got that 10% damage, so you can help the DPS with certain special infected moments. WIDEMOUth MAGWELL, can never go wrong with more reload speed, could save you in certain moments. Now, this is another card, also Tactical Vest. If you're not using an AR, and you're not using, or if you're just not using an AR in general, obviously trade this out for whatever it is you're utilizing. Say if you're using a shotgun, SMG, or sniper rifle. There's 3 other cards that do the same thing. It's one of those cards that you can just flip out, in and out really quickly. Easy to do, just talk with your teammates, see what they're using, and try to conserve on that ammo instead of hogging some of their ammo, especially if they're the DPS. And last but not least, Scar Tissue. Take less damage from all ridden. Just another one of those that helps the survivability of this build. Now, telling you guys, this is one that will help you greatly. Obviously, you'll still need somebody on DPS and somebody on healing and whatever the other third person wants to do, but you are going to be a lifesaver to the team with this build. I mean, you are going to completely delete the Ogre, the Breaker, or the Hog, any of those boss moments. You're getting that card, you're getting that copper. All those corruption cards aren't going to be a worry for you. I mean, I can't stress it enough. It was unbelievable when I first saw it. And I'll have to give credit to my buddy for pulling this build together. He started playing around with some of these, and then he showed me it, and I was like, alright, yeah, we definitely got to put this one out there for other people to use, because it's a great benefit to just running through some of the campaign. Everybody's had their moments with ogres just being a bit too powerful, and this is the Ogre Crusher, man. It's going to put them in the dust. Now, obviously, if you have any questions about, maybe some cards you don't have, or maybe you don't exactly have some of the more improvised explosives, a lot of these are going to come from the top supply line. That's one thing to note. But if you don't have some of these cards and you're looking for replacements, just ask down in the comments. I'm happy to help, or hit that link in the description. Ask me over at Twitch. I'm happy to answer any questions over there as well while I'm live. And if you need some supply lines done, you need to farm some supply points, I've got a link in the description for another farming run that uses similar to this build in a way to farm more than 100 points every 4 minutes. It's quick, it's easy. You can be pushing through supply lines pretty quickly and start getting some of those cards to make some better decks. I've also got other decks down in the channel below if you'd like to look over at those as well. And hope this helped you guys. Sorry, it's a bit early in the morning. 3rd video we're rocking out now, but hope you guys enjoy it and have a good one.